podcast where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow, and it's still Social Media Influencer Month.
Yes.
But it's the last one.
It's the very last one.
So what shall we do now?
Announce next month's theme.
And what is it?
It is Best Friend Month.
Best Friend Month.
Yes. I shouldn't say it so cheerfully.
No,
it's we're going to be talking about best friends who kill, but I was thinking of you when I named it. So.
Oh. Well, I don't know that I would involve anyone else in my murder plots.
No, honestly, I was just like, I wonder if, and I really didn't think that there was going to be that much to choose from.
Oh, there are.
There's way more than I ever imagined. So, yeah.
That's
good. Yeah.
So I want to get into today's case, and y'all, this will be a little bit shorter episode, but I think it ties it all together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it'll seem like I'm going to talk about a really famous case, but I'm not. Only adjacently. Yeah, so I'm just going to get into it. So we're all familiar with the Gabby Petito case. She was an Instagram influencer chronicling her van life experience with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, and was murdered in Wyoming. Brian returned from the trip without her, and eventually he was found dead by his own hand in the Florida wetlands, where he left a letter basically confessing to Gabby's murder, sort of. It was a really tragic case, and it got a lot of media attention, like a lot. It was basically a media frenzy. Mm-hmm. Gabby's body was found in part because of other influencers and social media users. Mm-hmm. And this was originally something I was going to cover on Patreon, but it's adjacent to this month's theme and something a little different. And I found it incredibly interesting. So this is what I'm going to cover today. In the search for Gabby and finally the search for Brian, a total of 9 bodies, like news reports will just say 10, but it's 9, were found. Some of them were tragic accidents, but most of them were murders. And trigger warning, I should have done this at the beginning, but I will be talking about suicide, domestic violence in this quite a bit. So if that bothers you, please click away. I'm going to cover all the cases that have information briefly. And what I mean by that is some of them basically have little to no information, like just a name. And one of them doesn't even have a name. So
just to clarify, so these were people, like bodies that were found while people were looking for Gabby Petito.
Mm-hmm. And then later while they were looking for Brian.
And then more bodies were found while looking for Brian too. That's so eerie. Like you're looking for a body and you stumble across 9 different bodies. Like
it gets painted that way in the media, but that's not quite how it went down. And I'm going to explain each individual case and how, like, the circumstances around it. Mm-hmm. Because originally I thought, well, they're just out searching for her and they find other bodies.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the case, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
If Gabby's case hadn't gotten the attention that it did, would these other victims have ever been found? Right. And I don't like to call anything a silver lining when it comes to someone's untimely and horrific death. But in a way, Gabby's passing led to closure for a lot of families. So I try to take that away as at least some kind of positive. And in addition, the absurd media bias and media frenzy over her case, and I'm not saying she didn't deserve it, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Led to a lot of really good discussion. Excuse me, about how we cover these cases and why certain cases get no media coverage whatsoever. And we'll talk about that too. I'm going to be mad about it. I just find it shocking too that these people hadn't been found until then. Like they should have been.
Right.
It's almost like if you're doing your job, you'll get results. Mm-hmm. So the first case I'm going to talk about is that of 46-year-old Robert Lowry from Houston, Texas. He went missing near Wilson, Wyoming on August 21st, 2021 at around 2:45 p.m. He was last seen by witnesses on the Black Canyon Trail near Old Pass Road. This is not far from where Gabby's body was discovered. Law enforcement cites the intense media coverage of Gabby's case led to attention to Robert's case and is credited with his body being discovered. So basically what I mean by that is there had been no real tips that had come in, but now people were thinking about missing persons cases because of the attention from her case. And then it kind of jogged people's memories. That's how important media coverage is for missing persons cases. Even if it's not about the person who's missing.
Right.
It adjacently kind of influences people to think about, oh, well, I did see Robert. And so that's what led to the discovery of his body. Robert had been traveling alone when he went missing. It wasn't unusual for him to go alone, to go hiking on hiking trips, and he was an experienced hiker. His body was found on September 28th, 2021, and Gabby's was found on the 19th of September. The media attention caused 2 witnesses to come forward with information that led to the location of his remains. After an autopsy, the official cause of death was ruled as suicide. He left behind 2 children that were in their teens. He was divorced. Clearly, he was struggling with his mental health. And I don't really have any other details. And his family continues to ask for privacy in regards to the reasons why he took his own life. And we're going to respect that and move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next case is that of Sarah Bayard, aged 55. She was from El Paso County, Colorado. She was found during the search for Gabby. She had last been seen at a gas station where Gabby and Brian had taken pictures for Instagram. So police were in that area looking for clues in regards to Gabby's disappearance. And they were checking out that area and that particular gas station because Gabby and Brian had posted several photos to Instagram with the gas station like in the background. Sarah was reported missing on July 4th, 2021, and had last been seen on June 28th. Her remains were identified positively using dental records on October 14th of 2021. She was found just off the highway in El Paso County, like not too far from that gas station.
Wow.
So she basically died probably the day she went missing.
Oh my goodness.
Her cause of death has not yet been determined, and law enforcement is not saying whether or not they believe foul play is involved. But in her case, in the way the articles are worded, it does seem likely.
Right.
She last spoke to loved ones on June 27th and was last seen alive on June 28th of that month on CCTV at the gas station. There is basically no information on Sarah's case, and there was zero media attention. There was like an article with her picture saying law enforcement is seeking information on this missing woman, and there wasn't any details about her life, just her age and her name, not even the town she's from. And I really struggle with this when they don't. I get when there's an ongoing investigation that you do have to keep, some details about the case private.
Right, about the case, but...
And about the circumstances.
But you have to give certain details.
Yeah, I can't even know what town she's from, just the county. And I don't know if she's married. I don't know if she has kids. And I feel like these details are really important.
Right.
And if you want the public's help, you're going to have to give us more than, well, here she was and that's bye. I need more than a face and just a name. I'm going to need some more information. And it's going to be because of her age. So studies show that white women between the ages of 18 to 24 get the most media attention.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And while Sarah was a white woman, she was too old to meet the media's criteria for lots of coverage, which is disgusting and sad. Her body likely never would have been found if it weren't for the Petito case. And I think the ageism...
Yeah.
And the racism in this is pretty disgusting. These are still valuable people just because they're not hot young ladies. And this, I see a lot of arguing about this online where they will say, well, don't you think Gabby deserved the media attention? Of course I do. But so did Sarah.
Everyone does.
I can think both things at the same time.
This is very, that argument is very all lives matter.
Yeah, and I need it to go in the trash.
Yes, exactly.
Of course, all lives matter, assholes.
everyone deserves that type of media coverage. Everybody is as important as Gabby Petito is.
To somebody, yeah.
Yes.
Somebody's missing them.
Yes.
And it's so sad to me. So we'll move on to the next case because that is literally all the information I have about Sarah. And this is the case of Lauren Cho. On October 9th, 2021, the body of missing woman Laura Cho, age 30, of Flemington, New Jersey, was found in the California desert between Morongo and the Yucca Valley. She had last been seen on June 28th of that same year and had last been seen by her boyfriend and some either friends or acquaintances. Lauren was a fun-loving and adventurous spirit who met Cody Orrell on Memorial Day of 2020. Some sources say he was just a friend. Others say he was a boyfriend. I'm going to go with boyfriend because one of the main witnesses in this case did describe him as a romantic interest. And her case has similarities to Gabby's in that Cody is definitely a person of interest in this case. They decided as a couple in the winter of 2020 to go on a cross-country road trip where they planned on setting up a food truck once they reached their final destination, which was in Bombay Beach, California. So kind of like on the way, she took on work as a chef for an Airbnb property called The Hole, with a W, not an H, run by Tal Rispoli. On June 27th, the Airbnb housekeeper testified that Cody and Lauren had been heavily drinking all day, which caused an argument. The argument seemed to be over whether or not Lauren could drive in her intoxicated state. Cody refused to let her drive, and Lauren got very angry with him and supposedly walked off into the desert without any food, water, cell phone, proper clothes, etc., and she was never seen alive again. Excuse me, I'm having allergies like crazy today. I'm sorry about the noises. That's Cody's story.
I was about to say.
Because it's not clear in any of the research that I did whether the housekeeper witnessed the argument itself and then her walking away, or just knew that they had been drinking and then argued.
Right.
But it's Cody's story that she just walked off into the desert. I just find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was intoxicated.
I've walked off drunk and angry before.
Yeah, I have too.
I understand.
Yeah. On June 28th, Cody contacted police and a missing persons case was filed. Her cause of death remains undetermined, and the last update on this was October of 2021, when the coroner said they were awaiting the results of a tox screen. Since her remains were only, skeletal remains by that time, it makes determining the cause of death very difficult.
Right.
And, I don't know that all drugs are going to be present in the bones or any tissue that's remaining, especially after all that time.
Yeah.
It just makes it incredibly hard to determine the cause of death. It's why a lot of cases, when they only find skeletal remains, are very difficult to solve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The media coverage of Gabby's case got people talking about missing persons cases that received no coverage by comparison. Cases like Lauren's, because she was Asian and out of the age range the media likes to cover. Without the interest in Gabby's case, it's likely her body never would have been found. Though not found in the direct search for Gabby or Brian, she was found because the conversation started around the media bias towards pretty young white women. There are no current updates on Lauren's case. And I mean, I do know that tox reports can take a while to come back, but it's been 2 years almost. Why do we not have an update on this case?
Right.
It's just infuriating. Because of the sudden interest in other missing persons cases, 3 bodies were found on October 9th. Lauren's being one of them. Sarah's was another.
Wow.
The 3rd body found on October 9th was, I do not know how to say his name, and I tried looking it up, and I couldn't get anything, so I'm going to spell it. His first name is Josue. His last name is Calderon. He was 33 years old and from Rhode Island. His body was discovered on the Blue Ridge Parkway along the Appalachian Trail below the Yadkin Valley Overlook in North Carolina, and he had been stabbed to death. Before he was identified, many people thought the remains, when they found them, could have possibly belonged to Brian Laundrie. And the reason a lot of people thought that is because Brian bragged about having a lot of wilderness survival experience. And the Appalachian Trail is, of course, really heavy wilderness.
Wild as fuck, yeah.
It is wild as fuck, but there are like campgrounds and shit.
Yeah.
And you can disappear in there real
Absolutely.
easy. And so they assumed that when he was on the run, that he would go somewhere where he could utilize his skills and hide from law enforcement. Anytime a male body is found during this time period, people think it's Brian.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And listen, y'all, I remember the coverage from this case. I was on Web Sleuths, a hive of scum and villainy. Not always. I mean, I just don't like the idea that untrained people at home on the internet with the shield of anonymity can play armchair detective.
Right.
9 times out of 10, the theories are really wackadoodle. They're not helpful. Yeah. They clog up resources by calling in these tips that aren't tips. They're just wild hair theories. And I saw some crazy shit around the Gabby Petito case.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Do you want to hear some of them?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't look at all.
Yeah. So one of the wild hair crazy theories was that Brian had somehow dug a tunnel under his parents' house, and you could, in one photo, see his hand like in the bushes in front of the house.
Could you?
No,
Okay.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
I didn't think so, but I was just wondering about a hand in the bushes.
There was no hand. It was probably just like a garden stone or something, like a rock.
Oh my God.
It's pareidolia, which is the effect of where the human mind wants to find patterns.
I was going to say, when you want to find something and you find it, but...
It's exactly what it is. And so we'll see something and you're like, ooh, that looks like a face. Like shapes in the clouds.
Yes.
And that's all this was, and people called this in. People were saying, I'm going to go to the house and dig up the yard. Well, bitch, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah, that's trespassing.
And that's crazy. Stop it.
Yeah.
Law enforcement would, well, fuck, they don't know anything either, but like... It's ridiculous. That's all the information. There's been no update on this case. What's infuriating is all these cases, very few of them have updates. And some of the conclusions of them are so unsatisfying and so upsetting, and we're getting to those right now.
Okay.
Our next case is 19-year-old Maya Marcano. She went missing a couple weeks after Gabby did, and her case had virtually no work done by law enforcement and very little media coverage because she was Hispanic. And her family said it was possible that her case could have had a different outcome if police had given it as much attention as the Gabby Petito case got. Her body was found in the search for Brian Laundrie in Florida on October 2nd. Maya went missing on September 24th, 2021, after she finished her shift at Arden Valley apartment complex. When she missed returning home, she was subsequently reported missing. Her body was found with her arms and legs duct taped and her mouth taped.
Oh, honey.
Her cause of death has yet to be released, and the one suspect in her murder, Armando Caballero, is the only suspect. He was the maintenance worker at the apartment complex she lived in and worked at. And 3 days after she went missing, the 27-year-old maintenance man was found having hanged himself. We will likely now never know exactly what happened to Maya.
Because they just wrote it off.
Well, he killed himself because he was guilty, and
Right.
case closed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They wrote it off. It's like, well, there we go. That's
Done.
all. That's all we need.
Dust off the hands.
It's not my child. It's not my friend. It's not my.
Well, and it's a brown
loved
girl. Who
one.
gives a shit?
Exactly.
She's absolutely beautiful young lady, and it's just very sad. The family is devastated, and I think they have a page for Maya, and I'll try and link it because they're still pushing for answers. Because just case closed on that without any details really isn't enough for that family, and I don't blame them.
Well,
I'd want to know.
It's not fair.
It's their child.
And they deserve the right to know.
Yes, they do. A man's body was found in a dumpster at an Alabama Walmart on September 20th of 2021, and it was suspected to be Brian Laundrie's. I don't know why. See, a lot of these, like...
Man? We look for man. You find man?
Man found. Has to be same man, only one man. is stupid. And it wasn't. And instead it was the body of a still unidentified homeless man.
Oh.
And no cause of death or name has been released. But here's where I have a bone to pick with this. How do we know he was homeless? If he's unidentified, how do you know?
But even if he was...
Well, why are we jumping to that? If he didn't have ID, who's to say the killer didn't take his ID and throw it away?
Right.
It's just really frustrating.
Right.
And that is literally all the information on that guy. They haven't even released a sketch.
They just don't care.
They just don't fucking care. So we don't have a description of what he looks like. He was, I guess, white, which was why the suspicion that he was Brian floated around. Again, during this time, any man that turned up dead was Brian.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. The next case is my least favorite. This one really hurts my feelings. I'm going to try not to cry. Kylan Schultz, age 24, and Crystal Turner, age 38, were married on April 20th, 2021. The women were deeply in love and liked to travel and go camping with their pet rabbit named Ruth.
Ruth!
I know. Which is what they were doing in Moab, Utah before they went missing. They were last seen alive on August 13th, 2021, at a bar in Moab around 9:30 p.m. Witnesses said that the two were completely enamored with each other and were ignoring everyone else around them. No one saw anyone follow them to their car when they left the bar to return to their campsite. 3 days later, Kylan's dad called a friend of the couple, concerned when he'd not heard from them. He said that they had told him that they had moved to a different campsite because of a creeper dude. That's in Air Bunnies. Yeah. And that the guy frightened them. And it's just really sad. So this friend who got the phone call went to the La Salle Mountains to their last known campsite to check on them on August 18th, 2021, where they found the couple shot to death in their tent.
Oh my God.
And the friend was on the phone with Kylan's dad when they made the horrible discovery. And I absolutely can't imagine being the father. I can't. 2 days before they went missing, Brian and Gabby were pulled over in Moab, and the press and online sleuths thought that the cases might be related, like there's a serial killer on the loose.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for thinking that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm frustrated because I think it's pretty clear they're not related. This is obviously a hate crime to me.
Right. But I remember at the very beginning, you know, it kind of just connecting the dots that, oh, that happened in the same place. Because I remember, because I kind of went in because of the two women that died. I dug around a little bit whenever it was current. Mm-hmm. And there was someone that had like camped close by.
Yes.
That like their stay kind of overlapped. They were there before them and then left, and then the two women came. Mm-hmm. But they had gone to like one of those like natural springs, like natural like sitting tubs that they have with the spring water pools, and you can sit in it. And the man that they were talking about that was gross.
He was creeping on them.
He was creeping on them in this like little natural spring hot tub.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So there's only ever been one suspect in this case. In May of 2022, the suspect told friends that he confessed to killing them. Oh. And he killed himself. Oh. His name was Adam. Can't fucking pronounce it to save my life. I will try and spell it. Pinkusiewicz. Come on.
Pink.
I just can't do it. So, yeah, this case is very sad. But again, there's no more details. They were shot to death. That's it. They believed he did it. He ended up killing himself. Case closed. And
no further discussion.
None.
Did they even do like a full autopsy?
I don't know. Like, there's just not any information.
What about
there was
bunny?
no idea. There is no information on this case. It's very frustrating.
It's disturbing to me.
I'm going to link Crystal Turner's GoFundMe that was set up by family. I know it's been a while, but you know, if it's still around, I will link it. Yeah. So the next case is so eerie. I consider it a copycat case because it is literally Gabby Petito Part 2.
Ooh, that gives me the chills that they like saw it and then
it almost like got in their subconscious or something.
Ew.
Emily Ferlazzo, aged 22, married Joseph Ferlazzo, aged 41, and they're both from New Hampshire. They married during the pandemic. They decided to celebrate their nuptials by going on a camping trip. They were also living the van life like Gabby and Brian. They had driven to Vermont to celebrate their first wedding anniversary, but something went horribly wrong. Emily's family reported her missing shortly after Joseph returned without her. She was pretty, see, just like Gabby's
like it's
case.
identical.
And she was pretty popular on Instagram as well. She was always sharing updates from their van life adventures.
So is she kind of like an influencer too, or like a travel vlogger?
A travel vlogger. I would say more like a travel vlogger than an influencer.
Okay.
It's kind of unclear whether she was like trying to gain more followers or not, or just really something fun she liked to do. Yeah. Joseph admitted to killing his wife by shooting her and dismembering her body to police shortly after she was reported missing. Her remains were found inside the abandoned small bus that they had converted in trash bags on October 19th, 2021. And like I said, I included this one. It's included in the lists because I think it inspired him in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
And it just makes me sick. The circumstances are so eerily similar. It's the same case.
Yeah.
She looked similar to Gabby, too. She's very petite.
That's probably where he got it, though. You know what I mean? Like, that guy is getting so much attention. To some people, bad attention is good attention. Attention is attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this guy did not kill himself afterwards, for the record. But look at all, like, don't you all find it weird that in all of the, like, a lot of these cases, the perpetrator then takes their own life, just like Brian did? Y'all, it's strange to me.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Yeah. I feel like all the media attention was this subtle influence in people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Emily's family said that they never liked Joseph. Something about him seemed off. And when they looked into his eyes, they just felt the presence of evil.
God.
And, you know, I haven't talked about the age gap. But that is pretty extreme. That he's old enough to be your father.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, when people say age is just a number, that's immediately followed by some real fucked up shit.
Right.
It's not just a number. They are completely different generations. I don't know what they could have in common. There's a definite power dynamic imbalance in that relationship. And he was obviously a domestic abuser.
I think it would be different if, you know, it's 40 to 60 instead of 40 to 20. Because the early totally 20s, different. You do not have it all together. Your brain isn't fully developed.
Not done.
And I just think that that is very predatory.
I agree. You're not done cooking yet.
No, you're spring chicken.
He has since pled not guilty to Emily's murder, but was found guilty of her murder in a civil suit brought by Emily's family in January of 2023, and he has since been ordered to pay $1.5 million in damages. So that's something.
It? He was found guilty of murder and he has to pay $1 million?
No, honey. It's a civil suit, not the criminal case.
But still.
I mean, they're not going to get any money out of him anyway. Let's be clear.
But he should be jailed.
He's still going to be going on trial for murder. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
These are separate cases. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was confused.
This happened? Okay, this also happened in the O.J. Simpson case, where he was put on trial for Nicole Brown Simpson's murder and the guy's murder, and I can't remember his name right now. Nicole's friend.
Yeah. I don't remember either.
And anyway, so when he was acquitted, the family, Nicole's family, sued him for her wrongful death.
Right.
And that's what Emily's family did. It's a common legal tactic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So another case is 26-year-old Jared Hembry from Texas was found in Grand Teton National Park near where Gabby's remains were recovered. His body was identified on October 25th, 2021. Someone had called in a tip because of the media coverage when they were looking at other missing persons cases, saw his and remembered seeing him at this national park. And they were concerned for his well-being because he was behaving in a strange, kind of erratic manner. And so they called that in, And then they found him. Jared had been drifting and traveling alone for some time before his body was found, and there are absolutely zero details past this.
God.
Zero. I do not know if he died by mishap, accident, suicide,
exposure,
overdose.
Yeah.
Don't know. It's kind of implied that he might have had some addiction struggles, and I'm not going to speculate further in respect.
Right.
But man, it's just so sad. And he was in the wilderness. He would have never been found.
Right.
So I really think if we can learn anything from Gabby's death,
right,
her horrible murder, is that everyone deserves that kind of media attention when they go missing.
Right.
And we need to continue to have dialogue around missing persons cases that don't get attention, especially Black women of color, Hispanic women, older women, trans women, and men.
Yeah.
Men don't get any attention when they go missing.
Because they're allowed to go missing, right?
Well, they're a big, strong man. They're fine.
Right. Well, they're probably just out there doing their own thing. They can do whatever they want.
That's not true. And, like in the case of Lauren and probably Jared Hembry, I think it's a good chance that there was mishap involved. Like it was just an accident. With Lauren, it was likely exposure when she wandered off without, in a huff. And she probably thought, I'll be right back, and got turned around.
Yeah.
And Jared was clearly experiencing either some mental health issues or some addiction issues. And this happened. And I just wish, I don't know, I just wish the housekeeper would have run after her if they witnessed it. Or her boyfriend would have. But I mean, I'm sure he feels bad about it if he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
These cases are all so sad to me. But then it made me think, how many have we not found?
Right.
And the idea is so horrific to me.
For every case that we don't take seriously. Like, okay, if we took seriously 1 in every 5 cases that don't get any media
attention,
coverage.
Yeah.
Think about all the bodies that would be found. You know what I mean? If you carried over this math,
Well, it puts me in mind of the case I just covered on Patreon, the Kaylin Louder case.
Yeah.
She goes missing. She left her apartment in a rainstorm having a mental health crisis, likely a psychotic break. And police just didn't give no fucks. And it took 10 weeks to find her body, and they found it on accident.
Right.
And had the police taken it seriously, maybe she could have been found before she died.
Right.
I mean, probably not.
Right.
But we don't know that because nobody fucking tries. And the fact that these aren't in the paper, like there should be a section of the news that is devoted to missing persons cases.
Absolutely.
Not just locally, but nationally.
Yeah. But especially locally because...
Especially locally.
You know what I mean? We should all know.
And I'm not talking about no fucking Amber Alerts. They don't work.
Yeah.
You can refer back to my episode on Amber Alerts and why they're just bullshit. There's so many criteria you have to meet to be used in an Amber Alert for a child. And even children's cases don't get a lot of media attention.
I mean, just the other day, my friend's kid went missing. Like, was supposed to come home with a friend, and she didn't end up home. And it was like, I don't know exact details because it literally just happened. She was found, I think, like early this morning or early yesterday morning. But I mean, there was a series of people that like saw the Facebook post and was like, "Oh yeah, I saw that little girl on my ring light, on my ring, like ring camera, like the doorbell camera." And, through those types of surveillances, just those little interactions, she was able to be found. If that was applied to everybody, if everybody had all eyes and everybody, was made aware, these people would be found.
I don't know how many like Black kids go missing and we just don't give a shit.
Right.
They're never found.
Well, and think about all the areas specifically around like inner city areas or, like the poor, quote unquote, poorer parts of town or stuff like that, where police just don't search. They don't search those areas because they don't want to go there. And, because they don't want to get the poor on them, like they just act like those are like the forbidden areas. You got the haulers, you got like all these areas that they won't go. And it's likely that's where they would be found. So it's sad because they don't care.
Yeah, and usually people are found pretty close to where they went missing from.
Yeah.
Especially
you just
if
have
they
to go
met
look.
especially if they met with foul play.
Yeah.
Because usually if you go missing, you've met with foul play or you've had an accident.
Whether it be at your own hands or somebody else's. You know what I mean? Because your own brain can...
Oh, it sure can, y'all. And, I will never cover Gabby Petito's case because...
I mean, this was slightly adjacently covered.
Sure, but I'm not going to in-depth it. And I'm going to tell you why. Not because she doesn't deserve it. It's because it's been done. I can't add anything to that conversation. And I feel like that takes a space where someone else's missing persons case that is not solved could occupy.
Well, and I think that, now, I can obviously not claim to know Gabby Petito or who she was or what her character is, but I can speculate because she was very much, in the public eye. Yeah. And just by my own observations, she seems like the type of person that, okay, this horrible thing happened to you, yes, but do you want to make something good out of it?
She
I could
absolutely
see
does
her
seem
on
that
the
way.
other side thinking that,
Saying, please
oh,
use-
thank God my case was used to help other people.
Please use the terrible thing that happened to me to help someone else, save someone else.
Yes.
Give closure to someone else's family.
Yes.
It is what I would want.
It's exactly what I would want. And it's exactly what I want with my life. You know what I mean? And, if my life or death does that, I will be proud. But I just...
y'all, I want y'all to do me a favor, listening out there.
Yeah.
And I just talked about this to Willow a second ago. We cover a mix of really popular cases, really well-known cases, and a mix of completely unheard of, uncovered cases.
Right.
If it were up to me, I would only cover the ones you haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Why? Because they need attention. The more well-known ones, they don't. You can listen to 1,000 podcasts on Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy.
Yuck.
And I'm never covering them.
Yeah.
You can't make me. And it is a numbers game. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. And the reason we cover these more popular cases is because it can get attention on the less popular cases.
Absolutely. You notice if you take a step back and look at our catalog, it is almost every other one, or there there's a pattern to it.
It is deliberate on my part.
Yeah, because we want to allow these other cases to shine and to get attention.
Yes.
They go hand in hand.
They deserve the attention.
Well, and I think that by doing these monthly themes, kind of narrowing down on a topic or an idea or a frame of reference.
It really helps you to do that. It really helps organize my thoughts.
Well, and just like the Gabby Petito case, once people started thinking about Gabby, they started to remember things that were similar about her case in other cases.
That's right.
So if we think about things that are similar, our brain will kind of connect those things together.
Yes.
So,
but what I want y'all to do is I want you, instead of seeking out the popular cases, the ones you saw on Netflix or the crime shows, you already know it. You don't need to hear it again.
Some of it's good to talk about or interesting, but
try and mix it up for yourself. As a podcaster, I am mixing it up.
Yeah.
So as a listener, mix it up. Let's get the conversation going all the time. Let's never shut up so that people get their justice, their closure, and are treated fairly.
And respectfully.
Because
that's something that most people do not get in life. And if anything, if we can at least give them the respect that they deserve in death, that at least makes up for some of it. But God damn it, people don't give enough respect to each other.
No.
And it's disgusting.
And just because somebody ain't cute and little and blonde,
or your specific cup of tea,
that should have no bearing over whether or not they deserve to be found for their families and their loved ones who love them. I'll get off my soapbox to talk about soap. That's right. I'm trying to work on my transitions.
They're all bad.
One. Was it a good one?
Yes, if you just don't... Yeah.
Oh, I thought it sounded stupid as shit.
No, it was perfect. You should have just kept going.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Next time, just keep going.
Yeah, get your Mother's Day orders in, y'all, because
it's coming up.
I have one gift set left. It may not be left by the time you listen to this.
I was about to say, watch words.
But if you go to my website and you're like, my mommy wouldn't like that.
My mommy wouldn't like that.
I want you to send me a message, and I will cater and personalize something for your mom.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to charge extra for that.
You're doing customs?
I'll do some customs. Now, it can't be custom soap. Soap takes a month to cure.
Yeah, that's true.
But I can make her a gift set of stuff that I have that I guarantee you will blow her mommy socks off.
Mommy socks.
Mommy socks. And just message me. My email is going to be in the description along with the link to my website. If you're a listener, and you get 10% off, and you got to use code CRUEL, CRUEL. Yeah. And that's all the soap talk I want to do. But I have other things besides soap on my website, too. We have hand-blended teas, which are delicious, by the way. We have jewelry. We have art. We have witchcraft supplies. I have decor.
Decor?
Decor! Yeah. And what mom wouldn't like some decor?
Mm-hmm.
I always love a good decor. So, yeah, we also have a Patreon. We have several more tiers now. So go check those out. I don't want to go into our Patreon too much, but that's where we store all the photos for all of our cases. And those are public posts, not behind a paywall. I didn't take fucking pictures. That's silly. So it's just so we don't get bananated.
Yeah. And we can Instagram. Post more photos.
Yes. Because here's what will happen on Facebook. If I post like more than 6 pictures, it's just like I'm hiding this post from everyone.
Everything
forever.
Is shadow banned. Everything is shadow banned.
We're shadow banned on Facebook.
Every little thing they want you to.
We're shadow banned on Facebook. I know it's not even shadow banned. They just straight up tell me I've limited your reach. So dicks, because I say racism bad.
And yeah.
Actually, and you're terrible at Facebook and shouldn't.
Oh, yeah. I was like, man, shot. And I was like, oh, those are 2 words that aren't allowed to go together. Man,
and now bananated. Yes. I mean, they've threatened to delete our page on Facebook like 80 times. So I don't even use it very much.
It's my fault.
It is.
I'm just not good at rules.
No. It's terrible. Yeah. So, our Instagram is fine, though. Go follow us on Instagram. We're almost 1,000.
We're almost 1,000, and I'm so excited. I just want to get there.
I want to get there.
Yeah, so help us out.
Yeah.
Share us
also, join our Discord. Why are you scared? Don't be scared. It's just a chat room. And if you're like, well, Lillian, I am old like you, and I do not know how to use a Discord.
You don't either.
I don't either. Just message me.
It's actually really easy.
It is really easy.
In there.
But if you're confused and lost and afraid, you can message me. I'm not famous. You're not bothering me. It's okay. Yeah. You can message me and say, Lillian, help. I don't know how to get on the Discord. Yeah. And I will say, let me help you, because I will show you the way with pictures and everything, because I'm a dumby and I need pictures to help me. So, yeah, that's what I got for you today as far as business time is concerned. I also have a bun update. My dog.
Yes.
I have a little dog named Bunny, and about 6 days ago, she started barfing, and then there was a lot of blood everywhere, and I was very scared and crying, and I thought my dog was going to die. I rushed her to the emergency vet. I gave her a bunch of medicine. That shit cost almost $500. Yeah. And then she seemed fine. Today, when I woke up, she threw up again. And I lost all of my mind and almost passed out and threw up and cried. So we drove her to the vet. So now I have more vet bills. She's fine, though. The vet has given her a clean bill of health. Her tummy was very irritated. He gave her another anti-nausea shot, but he said she's going to be fine so I can sleep. Because I haven't been sleeping. This is my dog child. I would kill a man for the dog. We don't deserve dogs.
No.
And Bunny's a special dog.
He's a sweet baby.
And you can go to my Facebook and observe how beautiful my little dog is. Yes. She's so cute. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like helping me out, I would appreciate it, because, man, I am scraping the bottom of the barrel. And I would have paid more. I don't know how. I just sold my car. Like, that's my baby.
For that dog, you would have. Yeah, for sure.
I do that for any of my pets, though.
Well, I know, but Bunny especially.
Babies. Oh, yeah. That's my
Bunny's yours.
She's my BFF. Yeah, mm-hmm. I want to be buried with a dog. I get that that's not going to work out. Ideally, I will not live 13 more years, but like a while. But anyway, if you could help me out, I would appreciate it. Don't feel obligated, though. Do not listen to me. Do not put yourself out for me. Do not go without anything from me. Do not tighten the belt for Lillian. It's only if you can, and you're still in a comfortable place, because that would make me feel like doo-doo. Mm-hmm. I'd rather tighten my belt than you tighten your belt. Mm-hmm. And hey, if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, I love and appreciate you just the same.
You're so precious.
It's like having children.
You're
and maybe
so precious.
maybe one of the kids like kisses ass a little bit. But you love your kids all the same, just in different ways. Yes. But I don't want anybody to be like, oh, because I'll get messages where people feel bad that they can't be a patron or they can't send us a little tip on coffee. Don't you feel, don't. That's for people who can.
Yeah.
It ain't aimed at you.
Don't feel bad, because, I mean, we're in the same boat.
Oh, I'm in the poor boat, and it's got holes in it, and I'm bailing water.
We ain't buying coffee for anybody else either, so...
If I could, I would.
I know.
And when I have extra money, I do donate to things as much as I can, because it makes me feel nice and warm and fuzzy on the inside. Yeah. But hey, I understand we're all struggling right now because we live in a nightmare hellscape.
We're in the bad place.
We're in the bad place. Capitalism is... like got a terminal illness and it's like eating itself and shitting at the same time.
Yeah,
so it's just all very scary. Yeah. But do come to our Discord and show me pictures of your kitties. And
give me memes. I think I've seen every meme on the internet. So if
we're hungry for fresh memes.
Yeah.
We like them. I want to see, you know what? This was big on Facebook a long time ago to show pictures of your dinner. I'm still about it. Show me what you made for dinner. Even if it looks fucking gross, I want to see it.
Rate my plate.
Rate my plate. We don't do that. We're not mean. It's a very nice place to be. We have like all different kinds of channels for like case suggestions, case discussions, memes, food and art, and venting, because, you know,
sometimes you got to come to your girls and have a big exhale and be like, yo, it is hard out here.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Carrying these big titties I got around all day.
Dump truck booty ass that I got.
Booty ass?
You know, I'm so tired.
That was dumb.
Yeah. I had like 3 hours of sleep and a toddler to chase around. I'm worn.
Yeah. I am frazzled because we got a new kitten about 3 weeks ago, and I'm not sleeping. I'm just being buzzsawed all night long. My dog almost died, and this Mercury retrograde can lick my butthole. But see, I'll say that and it will, and it'll be weird, and I won't like it.
Yeah.
It'll take me up on that.
Incorporeal.
Ooh, I didn't like that noise. And you know what, Willow? Fuck you.
I'm so tired.
Yeah. Oh, you're delirious. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go now. I love you very much. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye. Find us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/Cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.